Hi guys, your spiritual journeyman here. It's the 11th of December. We've got 10 days to go until we meet that date that everybody's been surmising about, the 21st of December, when the photon belt and the Earth and all of the planetary changes in the cosmos is taking place, of which only takes place every 26,000 years. So no one really knows exactly what's what, but I thought I'd just share this little bit of food for thought with you. The energy that was downloaded onto the earth plane that fully began the change of frequencies, we could go back to the 1960s, heralding all the flower power and the changes that happened in that decade, of which I was a part of. But the very noticeable change in frequency started to be seen or felt from 1987 was the next major one, and then around 1996 to 1998. Each time the frequency is being quickened for those of us on the earth plane. This change of frequency that's happening to do with all the planets, the photon belt, the Pleiades, etc., of which you could do your research if you want to, has all been over the years put under the guise of the climate change and the planet heating up. But it's not quite like that. I was first told about all of this back when I had a writing to do rather, from the spirit world back in 1983, and they called it a psychic holocaust and explained how those that were working towards the good or doing their best in life would be moving along with the change of frequencies. And for those who in this day and age are over the age of 30, there would be a lot of us starting to feel the change within our own physical bodies because of the need of work done by the spiritual realms on our DNA. And a lot of us may be experiencing extra headaches, heart palpitations, muscle cramps, dizziness, and a whole lot more. It's like those over the age of 30 are like the old televisions that needed a digibox, as opposed to the children under that age who have come ready prepared. They are HD ready, as it were, and they're called by different labels and different names. But getting back to the 21st, which is only a week on Friday now, the idea that has been presented to me is something of a change with the frequency of the Earth's outer shell. There are some that would perhaps explain it as the cell breaking into two, so that we have the continuation of a new Earth at a faster frequency, whilst the old Earth, that is full of negativity and war and doom and gloom and materialism, etc., will still be plodding on as it always has done until it goes into decay with the progress of time, whilst there's this other Earth of which, if we're fortunate, we will be able to be prepared for, that if we go along with it, we're led to believe that it's something a little bit more, in reality, closer to heaven on earth. In the scriptures, in Revelations, it is spoken about where they go on about you talking to your mother, brother, sister, father, and your head turns and you turn back and they've gone. But really this is just a frequency thing again. It's much like when you're going on an aeroplane and you see the propellers before the plane has taken off. You can see the propellers, but when they're in the air you can't see them. So it's a little bit like that. So if you're a fairly decent human being who is just doing your best, then you just continue to do so. All of this change will begin in the cosmos, in the night skies, the planets. And that is at the point of when the one frequency breaks away from the old frequency. It's like the elastic band that stretches and breaks. And then we have like a twinned situation for a while. Now, some of the idea is for the whole of our own souls to download into whom we are now. So that's the sum total of all the good you've been in past lives, if you believe in past lives. So there are going to be a lot of peculiar feelings in the physical body when this transpires. And as we move forward, hopefully with the new earth in that respect, then over a period of time, which could be 3 years, it could be 5 years, but whereas we've been able to come back to learn our lessons through past lives and future lives, because of this massive change that's taking place, it's more in keeping with the assessing of our souls taking place whilst interacting in our physicality this time round, and a knowing of whether we've succeeded with life's lessons as we move on through the next 3 to 5 years. Now, there will be many of you that are on your own spiritual pathway, regardless of what label you would like to call it, that will find yourself perhaps remembering past lifetimes, or experience clairvoyance or clairaudience, or having visions, or the healer within. But it'll be magnified, it will be more inherent in you from that date onwards. Hence some of the symptoms you may feel with palpitations or lightheadedness, those sort of things. And if we breathe in, if any of you, and I'm sure most of you would be aware of some breathing exercises, but if we go along with the breathing in and not panic, then our own aspect of this, the new DNA or the worked on DNA, will begin to work through the physicality, spiritualizing our physical bodies right down to the cellular level. Of course, with the youngsters who are already being born onto the earth plane, they already have it there. This is why they don't really need to sit for development or go on courses, because it's there on tap already within them. But you can see like a frustration with them as they're waiting for their bodies to grow into adulthood. And it will be a case of the children teaching us older models, as it were. So there's all these different things to be considering at this moment in time, really. And it isn't anything to be really scared of. There are some that are not wanting to go into this new change, this new epoch, which is really the age of Aquarius, this Christmas being the last in the age of Pisces as we move forward. So it's quite a significant time, even with how people think and feel about different religions. But those who make materialism and negativity and war in their religion, they'll be left to get on with things in the old way of the earth, whilst the spinning of the new earth, of which our own physical bodies are accustoming to be like, will be gathering momentum as we draw away from those sort of persons and situations that do not sustain the spirit and certainly do not sustain the soul. So we're on countdown now. It's 10 days to go. And on the 21st of December at about 11 minutes past 11, and if you add up the 21st of the 12th, 2012, that adds up to your 11 too. Everybody in the whole of the world will have a fraction of an electric shock. It's a point something of a second, so you'll probably miss it. But from that moment onwards, the change begins. And it will happen, first of all, where the planets are concerned, with the sun and the earth, the Pleiades. Many years ago, Spirit said, look towards the Halcyon days, and I thought that was Halcyon with a H rather than Alcyon, which has much to do with the photon belt too, and the Seven Sisters. So it's quite an exciting time to be alive, scary in some respects, but if we all join together and use that love, the unconditional aspect, not the emotional aspect, because love in itself is an energy that's mighty powerful, then we should at least open up the doors for our new and more evolved little ones to come that can fulfill even further prophecies. And who knows, we might meet up with the Mayan Indians, who the whole tribe on this frequency thing moved on and disappeared, as did other tribes. But I'll send you much love and say thank you to you for listening to me. It's just food for thought, and you may come into understanding much more through your own inspirers and guides. But I wish you well, and I will speak again as and when. So I thank you for listening to me, and I hope your Christmas and New Year is a good one. So bye for now.